What happens when we charge a capacitor and how do we charge a capacitor? It does not take place. The building up of charges at the plates does not take place instantaneously. So in order to charge a capacitor, we have to connect it across an external source of EMF. When an EMF is connected by means of a wire, naturally resistance is added in the circuit. So you can't simply say that a capacitor is connected to EMF, then definitely there will always be some resistance associated with it. So what happens? When you just close this key, the current will start flowing and slowly the charge will build up on the plates. If this capacitor is an ideal capacitor, at one point of time the charge developed at the plates, so because of that there will be potential difference across the plates. That potential difference will be exactly equal to this EMF. By then there is no current in the circuit. So when the capacitor is fully charged, it behaves like an open circuit. That means no current in the circuit. When the key is closed, just when the key is closed, at time t is equal to 0, there is no charge on the capacitor. It just behaves like a closed circuit. Only resistance is there in the circuit. Like that it will behave. So let us take a time in between both. At time t is equal to 0, there is no charge on this. At time t is equal to infinity, charge is fully there, there is no current. But at some time, after a while, the capacitor is being charged. When the capacitor is being charged, the charge is neither 0 nor maximum, somewhere in between. Let us assume that time at time t is equal to t. At time equal to t, charge on the capacitor equal to q. Then there is a current flowing in the circuit and building up the charge. So what happens is there is a small potential drop across this resistance and across the capacitance. Then if you apply Kirchhoff's voltage law, let us assume this is A, B, C, D. So for the loop A, B, C, D, E, then how do we come? A to B, there is no potential. B to C, when you go, there are two potential drop. And when you move from D to A, there is a rise in potential which is equal to EMF. So the rise in potential is E and the fall in potential is potential drop across the resistor minus the fall in potential is potential drop across the capacitor. Because this is the source of EMF and cause of increase in potential, these two are the cause of decrease in potential because they happen to be in the direction of motion, direction of the current. So the net potential difference for the loop is equal to 0. This is the applied EMF. At that time t, charge on the capacitor is q, the current in the circuit, let us assume it to be I. Then voltage drop across the resistance is current into resistance minus, we know that q is equal to Cv, V is equal to q by C, which is equal to 0. So let us keep IR there, then E minus q by C equal to IR, which means that CE minus q, CE minus q by C equal to I into R, cross multiply that R will come over here. So I is equal to CE minus q by CR. But we know that I is equal to dq by dt. So I is equal to dq by dt. Then dq by dt equal to CE minus q by CR. Let us rearrange this. Then the next term will be dq by, because this is q, you bring it down over here, CE minus q, that will be equal to 1 by CR is there on the other side. This t will come up, then that becomes dt now. Then, so at time t equal to 0, charge on the capacitor is 0. At time t is equal to t, charge on the capacitor, we have assumed it to be q. So let us integrate. When you integrate these two from time, because it is an integration with respect to time, so when time t equal to 0, charge on the capacitor is 0. When time t equal to t, charge on the capacitor is q. So then when you integrate it, this is equal to 1 by CR constant will be taken out, integral dt is t. So here it is dx by x format. This is constant. So dx by x is log x. Here it is natural logarithm of x, which is ce minus q. Then here upper limit, lower limit. Then here dx by x is log x, but there is a function here ce minus q. When you differentiate it again, you will have minus sign. So this is going to be minus. So here again upper limit and lower limit. So let us multiply the minus over here. Let it be minus. So what are we getting here? Upper limit is natural logarithm of ce minus q minus natural logarithm of lower limit is, in place of q if you substitute c, it will become ce. This is equal to upper limit minus lower limit, that is t minus 0. So natural logarithm of ce minus q by ce, because log a minus log b is log of a by b, equal to minus t by cr. So if you take exponentiation on both the sides, so take exponential on both the sides. What are we getting? Take exponential on both the sides. We will have e power natural logarithm of ce minus q by ce equal to e power minus t by cr. Then here e and exponentiation both are like inverse, so they cancel out. So ce minus q by ce equal to e power minus t by cr. So ce minus q equal to ce into e power minus t by cr. Then here it is minus, actually not a multiplication. So q is equal to ce minus ce into e power minus t by cr. Then q is equal to ce into 1 minus e power minus t by cr. So we were discussing dimensions also for a while. That time this part, since I haven't taught you, I have not discussed. Here you see e power t by cr has come. So this is it is a power of e, it cannot have any unit. So there is a time up there, and here it is cr. So cr must be having dimensions of t. So because e power minus t by cr is there, so these two must have the same dimension. So from this we learn that dimensions of t equal to dimensions of cr or rc. You can say that this rc is called time constant. Then this can, for that time constant can be named as tau. Tau is equal to rc or cr. When you substitute the same over here, what are we getting? Q is equal to ce into 1 minus e power minus t by tau. Moreover, Q is equal to Cv. This is the capacitance, this is the total applied EMF. So this term could be called as the total charge that can be built on the capacitance. So this C into total potential applied or the EMF applied is called the maximum charge. Let's say Q maximum. That Q maximum on the capacitance is called Q naught. That Q naught is equal to Ce. So doing that, what are we getting? Q is equal to Q naught into 1 minus e power t by tau. So the variation of charge that is built on the capacitor is following this function. Q is equal to Q naught into 1 minus e power minus t by tau. This is minus t by tau, So what happens when time t equal to 0? At time t is equal to 0, let us take on the limits. So at t is equal to 0, what happens to this equation? Q is equal to Q naught into 1 minus e power 0 by anything, again 0. E power 0 is actually 1, so Q is equal to 0. Charge on the capacitor is 0. At t is equal to 0, charge on the capacitor is 0. Charge on the capacitor is 0. What happens after a very long time? Once you close the switch, so once you close the switch, the current will start flowing after very long time. That means after very long time, meaning after infinite time. When t is equal to infinity, Q is equal to Q naught into 1 minus e power minus infinity by tau. So infinity by tau is infinity, so this becomes Q is equal to Q naught into 1 minus 1 by e power infinity. E power infinity is infinity, so 1 by infinity is 0, so Q is equal to Q naught. After a very long time, total charge on the capacitor is equal to CE. That is because we know that Q naught is equal to CE. What happens after one time constant? Because time constant tau, we have said RC. So at t is equal to tau. Tau is actually RC or CR. What happens at time t is equal to RC? So we know that Q is equal to Q naught into 1 minus e power minus t by tau. When time t is equal to tau, this t is equal to tau, these two will be cancelled. We will be having e power minus 1. So after t is equal to tau, that is after one time constant, time after one time constant, Q is equal to Q naught into 1 minus e power minus 1. This can further be written as Q naught into 1 minus 1 by E. So we know the value of E, 2.718 something will come. So 1 by 2.718 becomes, so Q is equal to Q naught into 1 minus 1 by 2.718, which is 0.37. Q is equal to Q naught into 1 minus 0.37. So Q is equal to Q naught into 0.63. So after one time constant of time, after one time constant of time, capacitor holds 0.63 times the total charge. That means 63% of the total charge. See, we need to be remembering that. So this is what the way, like 63% of Q naught. Then subsequent to this video, let us analyze the current in the capacitor, current in the circuit and the voltage in the circuit. So if you plot this graph, the graph will be like, anyway it is going to Q naught. So if you draw this graph, how it will go, like if you take time in the x-axis and charge in the y-axis, when we begin with time, when time t equal to 0, charge is equal to 0. After infinite time, charge is maximum. So the charge will increase like this. This is 1 minus the exponential curve. When time exactly equal to tau or RC value, the charge here equal to Q naught. That Q naught is nothing but CE. After infinite time, so it won't touch. After infinite time, the charge equal to Q naught. This is actually not Q naught, this is after one time constant, the charge is equal to 0.63 Q naught, 0.63 times CE.